Hey MMA fans, Caged Minds, your host Michael Frankel, doing our predictions for Bellator 65. There's 5 fights on the main card. We'll get right to the predictions. First one is a Season 7 welterweight tournament qualifier between Lyman Good, who's 11-2, and Levon Maynard, who's 12-8. Lyman Good was the first ever Bellator welterweight champion, and we know he's very determined to get back to contention for that belt. He has good wrestling, good solid knockout power, is a physical specimen, so we never have to worry about the cardio. Levon Maynard, same way, a physical specimen. We're not really worried about the cardio. His knockout power is definitely something to be aware of. Where do we see a difference being made in this fight? It's with the wrestling. Lyman Good has the better wrestling. Will get in the top position. I can see him ground and pounding out a TKO in the second round. So we got Lyman Good with a second round TKO for our first prediction. Now we're going to talk about the bantamweight quarterfinals. We had 2 last week, now 2 this week. First one for this week, Ed West, 17-6, taking on Marcos Galvon, who's 10-5. Ed West, we know him for riding his bicycle, keeping his movement up. He likes to throw a lot of crazy kicks and uses the legs in many different awkward, unorthodox angles. Has very good flexibility. Will attack with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu off his back, as though his wrestling was his weakness. Last time we saw him in Bellator, it was improved, so I expect to see West takedown defense even that much more improved. But Marcos Galvon is the black belt here in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so when we go to the ground, there's overall, I got the sneaking feeling there's the edge goes to the black belt. Galvon will have that. For the striking, Galvon is going to be stalking, attacking, and looking to use more powerfully landed strikes that will actually cause damage, as to where Ed West is going to be looking for an accumulation of strikes to try to outpoint his opponent. Galvon moving forward, if Galvon's able to get some takedowns, I'm sure this fight goes to a decision either way, thinking the ground game will nullify each other for not more than takedowns. They will be able to achieve takedowns, but I don't really think any serious work either man will be able to get done. We're going to go with Marcos Galvon because of his stalking and being more aggressive mentality. He'll land the harder shots and he'll get a split decision victory. So we're going with Marcos Galvon with the split decision victory. Last of those bantamweight quarterfinals is going to be between Alexis Villa, who's 11-1, taking on Luis Nogueira, who's 12-2. These men are cut from the same mold. Both are stocky, powerful, and have wrestling backgrounds. Knockouts are the way that they like to finish fights. They take you down, or they punch you when they take you down. Alexis Villa has an advantage with his Olympic wrestling background and his definite one-punch knockout power. Nogueira has an advantage when it comes to cardio ability and possibly also using his kicks to an effectiveness. If this fight is ended, I think the winner is going to be Alexis Villa. Probably a first or a second round TKO, KO situation there. Luis Nogueira is able to win this fight if he drags it into the third round. If it goes to the decision, I think he has the better cardio. He'll be able to get the takedowns in the last round and perhaps sustain a victory if it goes to the decision. But for our official prediction, I think in the first round, I think these men are going to come in heated, a lot of emotion, and Alexis Villa will have another highlight knockout. So we're going with a first round knockout TKO. Now we go on to what probably will be the co-main event of the event. It's a Season 6 semi-final in the featherweight division. We have Mike Corey, who's 12-2, who will be taking on Daniel Strauss, who's 18-4. These are 2 of the bigger featherweights. I see this really being who can get on top. Mike Corey is solid, good with his top game. Possibly has a few more submissions up his sleeve than Daniel Strauss. But Daniel Strauss, I think, has the crisper, more effective striking, throws the leg kicks better, and with the wrestling really being a close call, I got to feel that, again, we're going to go to a decision. I think this could even get to the split decision, just to be completely correct. But Daniel Straus will win this one via the decision. The advantage is going to be he has more power in that left hand, and when he lands shots, Corey will feel the punches. He will be disoriented and disrupted in his flow by them. So we got Daniel Straus with the decision victory. And now this moves us up to the main event of Bellator 65. Bantamweight title fight. This one should be fun. Zach Fun Size Makovsky, 14-2, is defending his bantamweight title for the first time ever versus Eduardo Dantes, who's 13-2. Makovsky comes into this fight on an 8-fight winning streak. Looks better every time out in Bellator. He started off as a wrestler, has solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we've seen him each time out get a little more acceptant of getting in striking and exchanging with his opponents, keeping it on the feet for a little bit. As to where his opponent, Eduardo Dantes, has a 6-fight winning streak. He's been competing against nothing but the best ever since he started mixed martial arts, from his Camp Novanyao to the Shudo organization to some of the other ones. This young phenom has proved that the hype is much worthy. How do we see the fight going down? Zach Makovsky is going to look to use his takedowns. Eduardo Dantes is going to look to throw knees, a la his teammate Jose Aldo. He's going to look to land leg kicks just like Marlon Sandro. I think that in a 5-round fight with the reach advantage and his defensive takedown abilities, plus the black belt on the ground, that again, I think we're seeing a lot of close calls, or maybe I just see them as close calls, but again, I think we're going to go all the way to a decision, and Eduardo Dantes, I think in a unanimous decision, is going to pull off an upset, outland the strikes, hurt Zach Makovsky, maybe even take his back off of a strike or a flying knee to win a round, but we will see a new bantamweight champion. We're going with a unanimous decision and Eduardo Dantes. So one more time, we'll go back through our picks. We're predicting Lyman Good with a 2nd round TKO to win. Marcos Galvan with a split decision. Alexis Villa, 1st round TKO. Daniel Straus with a split decision. And Eduardo Dantes with a unanimous decision to be the new Bellator Bantamweight Champion of the world. This has been Caged Minds. Subscribe to the videos, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, leave a comment, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, uncage the warrior within yourself, and have a good night.